The purpose of this video is to show the rational communication style of ufologist Professor J. Allen Hynek, then chairman of the Department of Astronomy at Northwestern University, with regard to the 1972 Northward Airlines UFO observed between Churchill, Manitoba and Yellowknife, Northwest Territories.
Well, during my 20 years and even more experience with the U.S. Air Force as consultant, as an astronomer, as consultant on the matter of unidentified flying objects, over those period of years I've interrogated many hundreds of people who have said they've had UFO experiences, pilots included, and air traffic control operators and so on. People of very high reliability. And the thing that's impressed me over the course of all those years was that to the people who had the experience, to them it was a very real event. My own conclusions over these 20 years has been that you simply cannot explain all of them as simple misperceptions of birds, balloons, aircraft, or Venus, or something of the sort. There is a residue, a hardcore residue of cases which simply defy explanation. In this particular case, we cannot definitely rule out either a bright meteor known as a fireball or as a satellite reentry. There are elements in this that could be explained in that manner. We need to know, and this needs further investigation. We've got to find out precisely how long it lasted, what its exact trajectory was, and also we must check to find out whether there actually was a satellite reentry at that time.
We're cruising at 21,000 feet, and we first sighted it in a position about there, coming across, I would say, about a 45-degree angle to our flight path. And you could see a trail, sort of like a jet trail. And as it got a little bit closer, we could see sort of a fog going back with this vapor trail. And we realized it was something unusual, and the co-pilot called on the intercom to the passengers, told them to look out the right side, they'd see something unusual.
The course was roughly in opposite direction to ours, and certainly if it wasn't flying on a level course, it was fairly close to it. For the length of time we saw it, there was no pronounced change in altitude. It was just slightly above the aircraft.
Well, it appeared cigar shape, only pointed on both ends, as though it could have been a saucer, of course, but it was definitely pointed on both ends. You could see that much of it. So he had to be moving 3,000 miles an hour probably, down at that altitude. Pretty hard to do with any equipment on Earth that I know of. We descended down to our level and went on by on the right side, and it's difficult to say how far away because you don't know the size of the thing. However, it appeared to us about 3/4 of a mile to a mile, and we could see a row of windows down the side, oval-shaped windows, and also when you got a beam of us, when this bright light was no longer in our eyes, then you could see lights on top, lights below, and this fog all over the whole thing, sort of as though it was creating its own vapor from the speed. As soon as it got by, we were all sort of clinging on that windowsill. We turned around behind it to see if we could see it again, and I think I also didn't like the idea of it coming in behind us or something. And as we turned behind it, we were sort of fogged right in. And we climbed up another 2,000 feet to try and get a look at him, and he just disappeared. We heard Transair talking to Churchill, climbing out of there on a flight south. So we give Churchill a call to report this sighting, hoping that maybe the Transair flight would have been able to see him as well. And we couldn't get out on the radio. I have a feeling that our radio was blanked by this thing passing us. 3 of us were in the cockpit at the time, co-pilot, myself, and the stewardess was working in the galley, and we called her to come and have a look. We all 3 seen it and pretty well agreed identically on the thing.